All right, we're good to go. Hey folks, Mr. Justin here with Secret Weapon Miniatures, and a redo for our live Q&A from Wednesday the 10th of August. Didn't archive for us, so we're doing this again, giving you a chance to see everything that's going on. We'll have a little less time for questions today, for those of you that do chime in to join us live. But I will be able to cover everything that we did yesterday, at least by talking about the sets, previewing some of the cool new stuff that we've got coming out of the pipe. And yeah, it's certainly covering some of the questions that were asked yesterday. But for those of you that join us live today, feel free to chime in, chat, let us know what's on your mind, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. So, coming over to the tiles, this is a core set. Everything you see here at this point is the core set. That starts with the starter set. All of these components are in the starter set, which is also the only way to get the cool mine entrance tile, which I really like. We've got our carved dwarf faces, the bats on this side, a bat taking wing on the other, the glowing runes. Well, the runes, they can be glowing if you want them to. And yeah, so this is the starter set, which again is included in the core set. We have also added a floor or room set, which includes additional floor pieces, a stair set over here, which includes a two-part stairs up so that you can put them end to end thusly, or put it at an angle thusly to give yourself a corner staircase. Helps if I put it right side up. And the stairs down, which have a bit of forced perspective here to give the impression of stairs going down into the dungeon. We have also included a door set, which is 4 additional doors, or four additional doorways with the 2 doors. Now we've got 2 different door designs here that have slots for the actual door inserts to go into. So you can see the little marks here, and that includes the wooden storeroom door and the planks, both of which have the little nubbins on the back to get them to fit right in. Yeah. So even just with the 2 doorways, you get a bit of variety in how they look and which piece you're using to fill it, and then 2 of the archways with and without a lantern for you. So that is the door set. Of course, the starter set comes with an archway and a door as well. But wait, there's more. This is the wall set. So this was 22 additional pieces of wall that we added to the core set, and of course the passageway tiles. So we added another 12 passageway tiles to it. So this right now, as of today, is a $75 core set. This is everything you get for your $75 pledge. This is a core set right here. All of this. So the first thing I'm going to do before we start showing off some of the other pieces is talk about a couple of layouts real quick, see about what we've got going. All right, so I'm going to start, well, mostly by getting everything out of the way, and I'll start some on one side, some on the other. With what I like to do when I'm building is actually start with the doorway that I'm going to use. Of course, I feel obligated to use the mine entrance first, so I'm going to do that. And I will put down my first floor and figure out my corners. So I figure out at least 2 of my corners. In this case, I do want to use the round walls. I really like them. And because I have extras, I'm going to use the 2 solid plates to give this room, a more solid look to it with none of the feature tiles that have the holes in them. There we go. So I've got these. And a couple of 2x2s. Now it's just the trick of finding one on the board now that I've made a mess of everything. Step 1, neatly organize everything. Step 2, undo all of that. So now I'm going to put some internal walls. I know, in fact, what I'll do is change this up, because a lot of you have asked for layouts with internal walls. So I'm going to make sure that there's a couple of internal doorways in here, and some interior walls in this layout. All right, so one of the nice things about the lower walls here is it lets me get into the space. If all of these were high, of course, I'd have trouble getting in to my figures, and I'd have figures that were bumping into the walls constantly. So that's nice. And the 1x1 corner pieces are designed specifically to fill these larger gaps where these things come together. So you've got the walls in a separate piece so they don't take up any of your primary tile. So I've already created one room, boom, just like that. I'm not working from a plan. I'm just kind of making it up as I go. Let's use another rounded corner piece because I like them so much, and that way it's going to carry this through visually for us, make it kind of interesting. Oh, let's do another interior wall. Say here to give you guys the interior walls you've been asking for. Start making things a little more dangerous for the party. let's take the 4x4 floor and put it over here. Now you can definitely see I've got some interior walls going. Let's get another corner this way. Let's get another corner over here, and let's bring that room off this way. So I get another corner right there too. A couple of 2x2 walls, easy peasy. And if I want to, I can still create a large space right up here. So again, this is just a freeform build. I'm not working according to any plan. This time I don't have a map or anything like that. I did not have any expectations going into this for what this was going to look like. So now I'm pulling pieces from my wall set. So this is all still built from a single core set. So everything else going on here, this is still one core set that I'm using to build all this.
You're off camera a little bit.
Oh, off camera a little bit. Let's scoot the whole thing. And you can see I am. I'm just scooting the whole thing by pushing from one end. I'm going to have to take a minute to square everything back up, but that's no big deal. All right. Thanks for letting me know we were off camera.
Yep.
And, well, here, I've got one of the pillars right here. So just like that, I've got my layout. I've got some rooms, all of this from the core set. Although at this point, it's really the end point for that. So let's go ahead and swap out and put my stairs down in here so the party actually has somewhere to go. And then I just get my more 2x2s. And in fact, I can grab a couple of the passageway tiles and use them to fill in for rooms if I want to. Take up the same amount of space. All of this is interchangeable. Boom. So I've got my layout, and we've got our first room, passageway, lots of interior walls in this space to mess with our party. And then, yeah, stairs down, so we've actually got somewhere to go after this. So this is all just built with one core set, and you can still see, even with this layout, I have plenty of leftover pieces. You get an awful lot in this core set. It goes a long way. Of course, don't let that stop you. We're going to go ahead and start building bigger and bigger layouts as we start talking about some of the other things that we've added to this. So let's talk first about these sets that we have already unlocked. Beginning with one of my favorites, and the first creature layer we've unlocked is the Troll Hole. Now you guys have already added a bunch of these to your pledges, and that's fantastic. This is the Troll Hole door. So we've got keep out on the rock. Of course, the rock pops out, he says, as the rock doesn't pop out. There we go. So the rock pops out. So you can use this as a standalone archway if you want to. Throw in the Troll Hole rock. You're good to go. It includes the nasty, nasty soup pot and the Troll's bed. Now the Troll bed is one I actually want to show off a little bit better, because one of the things in the painted version that you can't see is that it's actually a two-part component. So you have the bed here, which includes some adventure gear underneath it on the pile of rocks, some wood pieces, some bones, and then the Troll's actual log bed fits on top of that. So you get all that wonderful detail underneath there still. So this is the Troll Hole, one of my favorites. And of course, we've unlocked the track set. The track set is just fun. So in this case, we've got all of our track pieces here. Elevation, cart, 2 doorways. Turn around. So there's our junction, our 2 1x1s, and a buffer. So the junction is great fun. So one of the tricks we have for this is that if you're building a layout in here and you decide you want it to go somewhere else, is no problem. Simply line up your junction. This is a 2-part piece, the junction. So we've got our body and our spinner. Plop that bad boy in there. Now the track goes off of here, track goes off of here. And if I take my minecart, now we're using a reflective tablecloth, so it's a little smooth. Some of these may come apart on us a bit, but that's all right. I can slide my minecart through, over to my junction. Woo! Spin it. And off it goes. Because the cart does actually fit in here. You can see we've got that nice little block on the bottom, so it slides along. I have plans for doing scenarios with my gaming group that include some puzzles involving the carts. So get multiple carts on here, have them push them through the doors, that sort of thing. That's going to be fun. So that is the track set. But wait, there's still more. So we've already added everything else to the core set. So we've talked about the door set. We've talked about everything that's in the core set. Now, the next thing that's coming for us is bridges. So let's talk about the bridges. First up, there are 3 designs for the bridge. You'll notice this one right here at the moment is lacking its wood, and that's because I want to talk about how they're made. The bridges are actually 3 pieces, each of them. Well, multiple pieces. There's 3 components. There's the body of the bridge, which in the case of this one has the archway that they walk through. There's the topper, or support, and it comes with 3 sections of wood planking that you apply. So when we talk about the bridge A here that has the straightaway, yeah, every piece of that was glued in place where we wanted it, how we wanted it, so we have that flexibility. More importantly, perhaps, is the fact that they can still be used separately. So in this case, I have a bridge A topper with some extra wood from one of the other bridges that is separate from its body. And you can use this as a span between bridges if you want to keep it all at the same level up here. You can use it with your walls to create ramps. Anywhere that you would want to use it separately, that's fine. Cross a span on your table, between tiles, use it as a passageway. It's going to work. So they come off that way. But the bridges as we have them now, despite the fact that we have 2 rounded bridges, they do cover the same linear distance. You'll see that they are all the same length, which means that if you decide to take your bridges and make a straight span, no problem. You're going to cover the same distance as you would with 3 of the straight bridges because they're all linear the same. But what I like about these bridges is a couple of things. One, you can take these 2 pieces together and make a nice platform. Bring another bridge up to it. Take your staircase, because again, every starter set now includes a stair set. The stairs come right up to meow, or, you know, at an angle, that's fine too. Set a bridge off of here, why not? Voila, it's amazing. But wait, there's more. Oh, gonna need this. You can also use this to work your way around obstacles, and of course I left the stalagmites. I must have eaten them. Oh, there they are. One of the wonderful additions to the campaign, thanks to Reaper, have been these bones of stalagmites. So I can take a set of stalagmites, and if I've got a bridge here, build around it. So I can actually come around. Get my obstacles in here. And have some really interesting layouts. One of the other things I'll add real quick, since we had such a positive response to the Pirate Cove layouts, is I'm just going to grab a sheet of, in this case, just blue paper. So I can bring this in here and we'll talk a little bit about the feature floors and some of the bridges, in fact, because I think the bridges make a great addition to any water-themed Pirate Cove kind of layout. So I have my paper out here, and right away one of the things that you'll see if I take like the feature floors and put them on here is that instead of having something like lava or water or blood or slime, whatever else you might want to fill into the cavities here, just by putting the paper underneath it, I can get a water effect, which works really great for things like the rounded walls, because you can actually create cove effects with it. So use this as an outside wall, and I can create interior layouts that would include, say, some more piratey components. That way I'm coming out over the water. I've got some stalagmites in the water here. Get my ship and my crew. If you check the updates, we had a couple of great Pirate Cove layouts that we did for that. You can also, quite simply, glue some paper to the bottom of your pieces. It doesn't have to be the whole table. It does not have to be your board or your mat. Nolan, can you hand me one of the lava pieces that should be right over there? Should be a lava track elevation by your elbow. Oh, there's not. It's way over there. Yep. All right, so one of the other things we did, we'll talk about taping it in place. So this is just some paper that we printed lava onto, and we put it underneath that. So if you look at the layouts and you see all the lava underneath the pieces, that's how we did that. It was really simple. It really was just print out some lava on some paper on the color printer. Boom, we were good to go. Easy peasy. But whatever you do have under your tiles is what's going to show through. So, you know, in this case, if I'm using the black mat, it's going to give me that look of depth underneath it. And if I'm using the blue mat, it's going to give me the look of water. Put in my lava, that's going to be great. But that's the bridge set. Let's talk about some other sets. Coming up after the bridges, the next thing we're going to fund is the track wall set. So the track wall set is another fun piece. I'm just going to show one at first because the second one does the same thing. So these are the components in our track wall set. It is specifically designed to fit with the, not surprisingly, track walls so that I can actually fill these in. I have the option here in the doorway to use that as a doorway or use the stopper to get it to the same height. This is a different height than the full floor size ones because otherwise it would stand up above the top of this. We do keep the heights on things level to 2 points. So we've got the tall walls, which they are flat on the top, but still have the detail on them. So you get the nice cracks and everything. But the reason we keep those the same height is so that you can put things between them if you wanted to. You could actually use these as risers. So it's the same here. We've got this piece flat, so you can use it with the risers with a tall wall around it, same height as this piece. And it includes the little triangle piece in case I want to square up this room. It now makes a nice square unit. Of course, the rounded inside is the same as the floor section, which means I can put the floor sections there, and I can leave the triangle off. If I don't want to square up my room, I can, in fact, go at an angle. There's nothing to stop you from using this piece to go off at an angle at this point. Boom. Off you go. Start building up the walls around this, and you'll be good to go. Passageways coming off of here, anything you want. If you decided that you didn't want a square train setup, you can do it this way. But with the actual track walls inside, it does make a nice little cavern. I'll just do the two of them back to back, in case you wanted to do that, just so you can see how well it closes everything up in here. If I can find the other one of these and the other one of these. It's almost like there's a whole lot of components on this table or something, making it a trick to find them all. So there it is. Track walls all squared up, nice and tight. Through here, I can pop these out, put in my floor pieces, leave it open if I want to, and that's fine too. And these pieces from the track wall set also make a nice bit for the Pirate Cove effect that I was talking about. Let me sort these out real quick so that I have some idea of where to find components. Track walls go back over here. But as we were talking about Pirate Coves, yeah, same ideas. I can actually use these on an outside wall, so I can actually bring my walls across, use those on an outside wall like so. Whether I turn them inside or outside doesn't matter. So you get nice little rocky exterior feature effects. I likes it very much. All right, coming up after the track wall set. So we've already talked about unlocking the bridges. The bridges are going to happen really quick. We've got bridges get unlocked. We're going to have the track wall set get unlocked. And then we've got the first of our Orc Warren sets. So there are two sets for the Orc Nests. And that is the Orc Warren, the Orc Feature Tiles, and the Orc Nests. So for the feature tiles, we've got a couple of things. First off, hey, anvil. Nobody can have enough anvils. Got to have an anvil, hammer. And that is attached, not surprisingly, to the Orc Forge. We've got our quenching bucket, we've got our fire, we've got our tongs, our coals, our vent. Lots of good stuff happening here. But wait, dun, dun, dun. They're orcs, so it gets a little grim too. We've got a little grim on this side, some ears, some skin, a whip. We won't think too much about it. But the opposite side of this gives you two feature walls to work with, the forge and the wall. And again, the other one includes an orc shrine. Wait for the white balance to figure it out. So we've got our orc shrine and an orc cage, which opens. So you can open up the orc cage, get a figure inside, pop the top back on, and use these as feature tiles on your board or as feature walls on your board. So you've got both sides here and both sides here. So this is the Orc Feature Tile set. Coming up later, so we would do the, at the moment the plan would be to do the Orc Feature Tiles, the stackers. I'll talk about the stackers in just a second. And then the Orc Nests. The Orc Nests are a series of beds for our orcs. In fact, here, I'll just keep them in my hand for the moment. So you can see the Orc Nests. And an orc greater bed for your orc chieftain to sleep in. He gets a large slab of rock, a pillow made of sticks, the banner, and the chest that he's hiding in the back of that. So this is the orc greater bed. There is also an orc doorway that would be included with that set, which I sent to Gen Con, and it's not back yet. So you don't get to see that today, but we've got the pictures up so you can see the orc doorway in there. And then that brings us to the stackers. So for the stackers, I've got to clear off a bit of room because the stackers are a lot of fun. And these are the things that let us create multiple levels here. Brief break for some Manhattan action. So the stackers are giant slabs of plastic. At the moment, resin for the prototypes, of course. And we have 4 sizes of stacker. We have the big Mamma Jamma, 6x6, 6x4, 3x6, and the wee 2x2. So each of these includes different features. So in this case, we've got wood on one side, the carved stone on the other, some wood supports. But each of these allows us to build not just up, but on top of. So I can take the space and actually frame up. This 6x6 is large enough for me to frame in a room. If I was a corner, I'd already be on the room because I would know it was expected of me. So I can actually frame up a room here, put doorways, passageways, bridges, all of this at a level above my adventuring party. And I can combine them because oddly enough, just crazy enough, it's almost like the bridges line up with them or something. Who'd have thunk it? And maybe, just maybe, if I had a lower staircase, it would line up with the level above that. And maybe, just maybe, ooh, maybe I could reach the other 2 staircases that I left over there. Hold on one second, folks. Clipping off the mic. And now I've grabbed a couple of extra staircases. You can also see that I can put my staircases up to the top of the stacker, build off from here, and there's nothing to stop me from continuing to go from here. I can actually build more stackers. I can put the rooms on top of here. I can put my tiles on top of here. Anything that I want to elevate, I can elevate on the stackers. That is the point of the stackers, is to let me build up. That includes taking, say, multiples of the 2x2 stacker and putting a bridge on it. But maybe you don't want to have to use stairs all the time to get places. That's all right, because one of the feature walls that we've got in the wall set includes handholds. This is the wall with the collapsed doorway. The reason it's not in a door set is 1, there's no door, and 2, the other side really is a feature wall because we actually have these nice handholds, which, crazy enough, happen to be the right height to get over to the bridge. So you can use that to climb up on the bridge as well, or stick it next to your stacker and climb up to the top of the stackers this way. Very versatile. But that is the stacker set. So this is what's going to let us build deep multi-level dungeons. We have a question?
Yeah. CED 1106 says, how well do stackers look as cliffs?
How well do stackers look as cliffs? That is a good question. Let me find all my stackers. I'll line them up as a cliff for you. Just by size, because that way they're easier for me to hold on to when I flip them sideways for you. So this is 6 stackers, kind of, sort of, vaguely in a row. Boom. They make a nice looking mine cliff. Definitely miney. You get all the supports in there. And again, there's repetition. So I'm looking at the same pieces. I could rotate some of these to get a little less of that repetition in there, because clearly these 2 have the same side showing, but that's all right. You get quite a bit of variation. And again, even if I just stack them 1, 2, 3, I get a nice transition. Woo, there we go. I get a nice transition. Square it up a bit. Boom. Still not squared, but you get the idea. As I sit here trying to balance it around in my hands. Stackers, they're where it's at. It's going to be great. You know you want them. So the stackers are one of the next things to unlock. Those come after the first of the Orc tiles and after the bridges. So we're going to do bridges, track walls, the Orc Feature Tiles, the stackers, the Orc Nests, and then we've got the hazards. We've already shown you guys the hazards. They've featured in a lot of our preview images there. Let me get the extra pieces here out of the way. These aren't included at the moment. Trying to keep my core set on the table and nothing else in the main space in case we get more core set questions. So the hazards set is a fun one. The hazards set Sure enough, it includes 2 rubble piles, so you can mark your cave-ins and collapses. That's fine. But it also includes a 2x2 floor tile, another 2x2 floor tile, a 4x4 floor tile, and a 2x1 floor tile. And the trick with these is they are modular. So you can take them off and kill members of your party. I mean, give them an opportunity to make it a check. Because clearly you wouldn't just kill your party. No. All right, well I would, but that's beside the point. Another nice thing about these, and I'll bring the blue paper back just for a second, is that in some of those pirate layouts that we did, folks might have noticed that we actually used them as a plain floor tile, simply to indicate that there was some water underneath them. So combining that with the feature floor tile, which is the one with the bridge, there it is. You can see really quick. I mean, in terms of a watery map, it sells it very quick. It sells it very easy. If I wanted to be really crazy, again, I could put the lava paper underneath here, lava paper under here. We just did that for the second of our Pirate Cove layouts. Included a basic Pirate Cove, and then there was the Pirate Gauntlet, which was this lava-filled cavern that they had to go through as part of an initiation test. Really brutal hazing in Pirates, I guess. Yeah, it looked really good with the lava underneath it as well, underneath these or the other ones. So this is the hazards set. It includes the pit traps. It includes the rubble piles. But wait, there's still more. We have so much stuff. I could show you all the things.
You got another question?
Oh, we have another question. Let's bring on the question.
They're asking if we can use the hazards as molds for realistic water.
Oh, absolutely. Can we use, so the question is, can we use the molds as, or the hazards as to hold realistic water? And absolutely, 100%. All you have to do is put some tape across the bottom. So like the 2-inch wide painter's tape would work just fine. But you have a lot of space. Let me find one of the inserts here to fit that material. Here we go. It should be this one. Hey, I got it right on the first try. So even with this snugly in place, that is as firm and in there as it gets, you can see that I have quite a bit of room here to fill realistic water, because this just fits into the top of the piece, into the top of the tile. So you've got room in here to add your realistic water, make that look like blood, slime, water, whatever it is that you want to add, but you've got plenty of room. And all you have to do again is seal off the bottom. You can put a piece of plastic card on there, tape that in place. You can actually just use the tape. I've done that before. Make sure it's on a stable surface and it's going to stay there until it cures. Otherwise you'll get some peeling. And I will have tutorials up for that sort of thing post-campaign, because lots of people have asked, and I'll be doing it too for the ordinary tiles as well, not just the hazards. I mean, certainly I can fill this in with some water to create a proper watery effect there. And it would look good in a mine too. It doesn't have to be pirate themed at that point. I mean, goodness knows that mines fill up with water as well. All right, next we have the feature set. The feature set includes 2 pillars, one with some bats, one with a lantern. And we'll talk about how to get quick and easy OSL effects too in tutorials afterwards. We've got a lot of painting tutorials coming. We have 2 rubble piles. We have 1 gear pile, some boxes and a chest, and we have an equipment stand. Even detailed on the back. What? So we've got our tools, we've got our buckets, we've got some hammers and rope. All the good stuff we need for a feature set. So this is the feature set. The last preview I have for you today is the spider layer. The spider layer we haven't talked about yet. We are finishing the prototypes for this, actually even as I speak. I think some of the 3D prints are getting finished. So this is another one of the hazard tile floors, but in this case you can see unpainted here. It has a cocoon, it has a cocooned body. It is just covered in spiders, absolutely covered in spiders. Same thing with the 2x2, another one of the cocoons, a skull, another 2x2 that just has small spiders on it here and there, and a 2x1 that has this. But what we're going to do in place of having the stone covers for the pit here, we're not going to do this. We have webs. We have translucent webbing that is going to fit into that space, and we'll fill that in with translucent web. shoot it that way, and that way you'll actually have the rooms that include the web that can still be a hazard trap as well. And that might be maybe part of the reason you saw all sorts of giant spiders in some of the early layouts that we were posting. Anytime there's figures that include the giant spiders, it might be because we were thinking about spider scenario pack for the spider lair. So that is the spider lair. We have talked about the core set. What's in the core set? Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta get the stalagmites out of here. But otherwise, this is a core set. So this is our core set. It's a lot. It includes so many doors, so many floors, all the walls, everything you need, the passageways. It even includes a stair set now. And we're not done. We do have some other stuff that we'd like to throw in here for you. Not saying when, not saying where, but we've got plans, we've got ideas, got stuff coming. Of course, we've unlocked the track set, we've unlocked the troll hole, and we're about to unlock the bridges. The bridges are fantastic. Again, they make a great straight bridge, they make little islands, the whole bit. We have talked about the track wall set to cover up our track walls and let us build rooms at an angle instead of just on the square. We have talked about the first of the Orc Warren sets, which include the feature tiles, the forge, the cell, the torture room, and the shrine. We have talked about the stackers that are going to let us build multi-level dungeons. We have talked about the Orc Nests, which complement the Orc feature sets. We've talked about the hazard set, which includes the pits, which includes the fallen debris. We've talked about the feature set, which includes the tool rack. And we've talked about the spider lair, which is going to have the translucent webs in it. So this is it. This is the stuff. This is Tablescapes Dungeons, and this is just the beginning. We've had a lot of questions yesterday about what other themes we're going to do. You want to kick back over? About what themes we're going to do. This really is just the tip of the iceberg. We've already started talking about several other themes. Not going to mention all of them now because we're not sure which one we're going to do next, but they will be coming. You will see a lot more Tablescapes Dungeons from Reaper and Secret Weapon working together with Dark Art. Klaus is going to sculpt some great stuff. We're going to make all this happen. There was a question about transition tiles to go from the Mines to the Tombs of the Dark Sun set that we have now. We are talking about that. That's a great idea, and we'll look at that. There's a list of questions by our elbow here. You'll see Richard's writing. You want to just pass that to me?
This one?
Yep, that's the one.
There we go.
Other stuff that people had been asking for yesterday are the transition pieces. Will I be bringing this to ReaperCon? Oh yeah, I'll be bringing this to ReaperCon, you bet. It's going to be at ReaperCon. Will there be a 1x1 grid on the stackers? People had asked that yesterday if there was going to be a 1x1 grid on here. We are talking about that. The intent of the stackers had been that you would build rooms on top of it, not that they would count as rooms by themselves, because it is the proper height between levels minus a room. So if we were going to use the stackers as rooms, they would need to be a little bit thicker. So that's not what their intended purpose was. We may put the 1-inch grid on them anyway so that people can use them that way if they intend to, but do know ahead of time that in order to be the proper height, if you're building up multiple levels beyond the second or third, you'll start to notice that lack if you don't have the floor tiles in here. But it will work, and we are talking about that. Another question was random crystals. Rather than, I guess in the add-ons now, we've got each of the colors of crystals that we offer in the translucent colors. Yeah, here we can do a little split real quick so we can show off the green. So these are the green crystals, and you've seen in some of the updates that we've done, particularly the Super Dungeon Tactics update that had the blue crystals in it. Somebody had asked for a grab bag of just multicolored crystals, and that's easy for us to do. That's super easy for us to do. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and add that for you. Bringing it to ReaperCon. That was a question about themes, 1x1 grid on stackers, and that's it. Those were the big questions from yesterday. But this was the preview, and more importantly, perhaps in this giant jumbled mess right here is our core set. It's a lot of components for $75. It is just the tip of the iceberg for us. We've got a lot more coming, and with your help, it's going to be great. This is it. Unless we've got another question.
Nothing yet. Let's give them a couple seconds.
Yeah, folks, I'll give a couple minutes for the audio to catch up.
I know this has like a 5-second delay on it. So.
Gives me an opportunity to sip a Manhattan, so we're good. Take your time.
You need like a Manhattan counter.
I definitely don't need a Manhattan counter. It would make me sad after a while. I'd start lying to myself.
I mean, you can reset it every stream so you don't feel so sad or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, my son needs to come in and say hi. He just got back from his summer program. Hey, kid, what's up?
High five.
High five. There we go. So we're just doing a talk to people on the computer about all the dungeon tiles. Yeah.
I really like this better.
You really like this one a lot? So this is, why don't you come over here? So you really like, so folks, this is the wee baby Seamus, not so wee. He's 5. We'll bring this in here so you can see the height properly. He's 5. Crazy. So his favorite piece is the Greater Orc bed. Why don't we pop that? Yeah. So he likes the Greater Orc bed. That's his favorite piece. We had to spend a little time today reorganizing the tiles because you had found them last night and made a beautiful layout over there. But then we had to resort it.
Hey, Papa, let me make that beautiful thing again.
Do I want you to make that beautiful thing again? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I know that the Secret Weapon crew may be a little sad that we get to sort the tiles again, but I think it's all worth it. You're off to swim?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, have fun.
Papa.
Hmm.
I love you.
I love you too,
I
son.
made something for Mama, so bye.
Okay, bye. Obligatory kid interruption. We got to have it. So we're good on questions? Is this it?
I haven't seen any questions yet.
All right, folks. No new questions means thank you for watching. Any questions that do come up, please drop them into the comments on the Kickstarter page. Join us there. Leave a comment. If there's a particular build that you want to see made, please leave a comment with a link. If you send me a link to a map, we'll be happy to make it for you, if it's possible at least. It's a lot of fun to play with the tiles. We love making layouts, especially when it's a layout by request. So much fun to play with these. We'll be happy to do it. So leave a comment with a link to an image of the layout you want. We'll try to pull it off. Thanks again for watching, and really, thanks for your support. Happy hobbying.